Hey artists, we're going to make these beautiful cloth Arpilleras. Follow along with me and I'll show you all the steps to create your own. All right, to get started, I'm going to make sure I put my name on my cardboard. I'm going to see this side. That's where I'll write my name because this side looks a little smoother. Now, a real Arpillera is done with sewing, but for our class, we're going to be using our glue bottle. So the first thing we're going to do is look through all the different shades of blue we can find and decide, are you wanting more of a nighttime sky, a cloudy sky, an exciting sky with a sparkly. We've got all different kinds of cloth. Just kind of decide which one works for you for your sky. I think I'm going to go with this one. So I'm going to lay that over the top. Going to get off the extra strings, and I'm going to glue this to the top of my cardboard for the sky. So I'm just going to do a thin line of glue around the edge, and then just a little squiggle through the middle to keep it down. And my first step is complete. I've got my sky glued to the top. Now, if any of it is kind of sticking out beyond the cardboard, I don't have to worry about that right now. We will get all of our stuff glued on, and then we can trim the edges as needed. So the next step will be covering up all of the cardboard down here with different fabric for the hills. Okay, now I've got all of this fabric to dig around and choose different colors to be my different hills in my picture. The only thing I remind people to do is don't go and cut out a shape in the middle, because that will ruin the cloth for everyone. So if I am looking to make a hill out of this, I'm going to go up from the side, and I'm going to just kind of cut across here and get my little hill shape going and glue it down onto the cardboard. Got it. We are going to be starting at the top because we want to cover all of the cardboard up. So I'm going to put this glue, again, a very thin line around the edge just to get it to stick down. And I'm going to go up over where the sky is. So we're creating that horizon line where the sky touches the earth. And I'm just going to go through and choose other cloth that would make a nice hill. So I've got this color's kind of nice. So again, just going to go around the edge with the glue. And then I want to make sure I come up high enough to cover up the cardboard. Perfect. Now I'm going to need another hill right here to cover up that area. Maybe this one will be a little flowery hill, so I'm going to go over this way. I'm going to glue this over. Perfect. We're getting our beautiful hills, our sky, and then we're slowly covering up all of this cardboard at the bottom. So I've got so many options in here of different patterns and colors that look fun. So I'm just going to keep cutting my hill shapes and gluing them on till I have it filled in, starting from the top and moving down to the bottom. Okay, here's another one. I can have this one go right down to the bottom of the cardboard. Now I'm just going to need something to cover this area and this area as well. Sometimes these corners can be tricky as we figure out about how much cloth we're gonna need to cover the area that we have. So I can kind of measure and look, and then add my glue, a skinny line around the edge, and fill in that space. All right, this is starting to look really neat. You can see the different colors and textures that are taking over our Arpillera, and I just need to cover this last area. All right, that completes the base for our Arpillera. We've got the hills and the sky, and now we can start adding all of the fun details that make these really cool pieces of art. I'm gonna go ahead and add a sun to my sky. So I'm just kind of using different scraps of felt right now, but we can use any of the cloth scraps that we have. So I'm gonna glue my little sun in the sky. And then you could also cut out some clouds. And so I'm just gonna cut some little wiggly line shapes and put some clouds in my sky. All right, with the clouds, it's starting to really come to life. I think I'm gonna add just a few little mountains at the back of this hill. So I'm just going to figure out where I wanna position those. And I'm just gonna glue some of my little mountains way in the distance with some gray felt. So there's one of my little mountains back there. Just to add more dimension and more character to our landscape, I just have some little mountains in the back. Let's see, maybe one more. You gotta kind of see how things are gonna fit. So I could put that little mountain right there. And if you wanted to, you could grab another piece of your light color and add just a little bit of snow to the tops of your mountains if you wanted. So this is where we're getting creative, and we're just thinking, what could I add? What could I add to my picture that would make it more fun and have more character? So I can put a little snow on the mountain tops. We could cut some different shapes. I could cut a rectangle and kind of decide where I want to put that. And I could get a little trapezoid up here, and we could make a little home. Add some windows. Let's see. So this is where it gets really fun. This is where we start adding our details and decorating and thinking about what we want to add to our picture that's going to give it a little more character. I'm actually going, and this is fun as you can kind of move them around before you glue them down. I could have one building here, and I could have one over on this hill over here. Then I can think of other things I might add, like maybe in the foreground, which is the up closer area next to this house, maybe there's going to be a tree, and I can go and cut a little tree shape. And I'm just looking through the different scraps and seeing what I could add, but I could add a little tree here. And then I can start adding animals. I could put a bird in the sky. Let's see. I have a little bird flying out in the sky here. So I'm gonna glue these items down, my house, my tree, and then I'm going to again look and see what else I could add to put more character in my Arpillera. All right, I got those things glued down, and now I'm looking at some different kinds of yarn. We have this really hefty yarn, we have a lighter yarn, we have this kind of fuzzy yarn. What are some different things we could do with this? Well, we could add some fruit to this tree. So we could do that by just taking the yarn and cutting some small pieces and adding those little details again to our arpillera. And it just gets to be really fun because you're just looking and thinking, what can I add to just make it more fun? Kind of thinking of myself as a little farmer. What could I plant on my farm here? So I'm like, you know, this could look like little fruits or flowers if I cut it into little pieces. So I could plant some of this on my green. And then it really sticks up and gives that fun texture. So we can just cut some little chunks of this and add that fun texture to our picture. So I'm just planting some of this in the garden. And I got a couple more spots for fruit on the tree. All right, I'm liking it. Now I could take some of this and I could glue it together and maybe make myself a little fuzzy, maybe a little sheep. So if I want to have a little sheep, maybe over here, put some glue down. And I'm gonna layer it up to make it nice and fluffy fuzzy. And then I would have to cut a little face. Oh, there he is. And then maybe I'll get another color for the fluffy tail, and then I can add some legs. So we're gonna be getting really creative here and thinking, what else can we add to our picture? What else would make our arpillera have more character and different fun things happening in our landscape scene? You can see how we've really got a lot of detail happening in our arpillera. To make my little sheep guy look a little more realistic, I'm going to take a Sharpie marker and just try to add his little eye right there. Okay, what else could we add? We could add more fruits and vegetables planted. We could add trees. We could add more animals. So I'm gonna go look through the scrap box and see what else I would like to add. I'm thinking maybe some plants up here and over here, maybe some more fun animals over here. And that's what we're gonna just be doing, is adding any details we would like to really spice up our arpillera. All right, I think I've added all the details I need, and I love the way it turned out. I added a little waterfall and little houses, my silly looking little sheep and a duck, and I planted some more trees and I planted some more plants, and I think it turned out really great. I can't wait to see the arpilleras that you create.